Hello, hello. Welcome to tonight's live. Tonight we're talking about your thumbnails and what you might not know about your thumbnails on YouTube. If you're new here, my name is Tony Scott. I am a social media strategist and a business manager for an internet influencer and content creator. So, unless you have a huge following, and people are coming to YouTube to search for your channel, the onlyest way people are going to see your video is if YouTube recommends it. And that means recommending it on the homepage, on the suggested videos, on the watch next, or on the search. So, how is YouTube recommending your video? By showing them your thumbnail. So, keeping this in mind, your thumbnail and your title are what gets people to click on your video to start watching. And this also means that your thumbnails are competing with thousands of other thumbnails that YouTube is recommending to their viewers. I mean, all that is a given. You guys probably already know that. I'm happy to see you guys, Keisha and Kay and Kalia, Anika, hello. Hey, Mary. So you guys know that your thumbnails have a lot of competition and they're the main reason why people click on your videos to start watching. You probably already know that your thumbnails must get your viewers' attention. It's got to make them understand, give them an idea of what your video is about. It's got to create some kind of interest or some type of curiosity about the video. And it needs to do all of this in a split second. So this is what I believe a lot of creators do when they're working on a video. This is kind of how their process goes. They think about a concept or a topic for their video. They film their video, they edit their video, and then they try to figure out what would be a good thumbnail for that video. In other words, the thumbnail might be the last thing they may be thinking about. So, what I want to talk to you guys about this evening is the one thing that you might not know about creating your thumbnails for YouTube. And I wonder if anybody can take a guess about what that is. Hello, everybody. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Carrie. So, does anybody know what I'm about to tell you about your thumbnails that I haven't already mentioned, sort of, and that you might not know? Hey, Boston. Hi, y'all. Fantastic voyages and more. Hello. So does anyone want to take a stab at what I'm going to tell you about your thumbnails that you might not know? Ooh, Anika. Ding, ding, ding. I wish I had a ding, ding sound. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I found it. That is exactly right. Anika had the right answer. You should create your thumbnail even before you film and edit the video. How many of y'all knew that? Amber? All right. Yes, start with the thumbnail in mind. Plan your thumbnail before you even get started filming that video. Of course, think about your idea and then start planning your thumbnail. I heard a creator at Vid Summit say that good thumbnails don't make up for bad ideas. Well, I'll go a step further and say you cannot make a good thumbnail from a bad idea. And I'm going to give you guys some really good examples of this. So there is a particular video that we did called, the subject was she was planning more themed parties and business ventures. And we could not think of a thumbnail that would depict planning parties and business ventures. So we ended up doing this video with this thumbnail, which to me is not very clickable. Okay, so what? You're planning more parties. Who are you? You know, maybe your diehard viewers, your fans know who you are, but nobody out in the wide world knows who you are, and they shouldn't. You know, why should they care about you planning your business ventures? What kind of business ventures? So in this example, this might not have been a great video idea. Maybe we could have structured that video differently to say, I'm planning parties, and you can come up with a thumbnail for that, or you're planning doing business ventures, and you can come up with a thumbnail with that. The other reason why it's a really good idea to plan your thumbnails in advance is that you know what shots you need to capture, sometimes during filming, depending on what kinds of videos you make, that could possibly be good for the thumbnail. Otherwise, you end up with shots that don't work. And I'm going to give you an example of that too. Here we are. This video was called something like A Week of Celebrations. A week in my life, we had so much to celebrate. This video in the far upper corner, is it y'all's right or y'all's left? And this video right here. That was the original video, the original thumbnail. We ended up A/B testing it against some shots that we just happened to take during the video that were for a photo shoot, but that don't necessarily depict what was going on in the video. But we thought maybe this was a screen grab. This one was a picture. So we tried testing that one. And that one did better than the first one. I think about 14% more better. But then later on, I just wasn't happy with that thumbnail. I'm just like, this does not depict a week of celebrations. So I went through the video and I found this clip of Zaya modeling her outfit for school, which was like a wacky Wednesday day. And it was a horrible screenshot, but I grabbed it and I used it as a thumbnail. And although it's not very clear, you can't see her eyes, which I always recommend. You know, you need to be able to see if there's a person in the thumbnail, you need to be able to see the main character's eyes. It just wasn't a very good thumbnail, but it ended up doing like 30% better than this thumbnail. And so by A/B testing, I was able to actually, you can kind of see here, this is an actual graph from that video where, you know, in the first month or so, it was doing about average. And then through A/B testing, that video outperformed the majority of videos on her channel, even with a bad thumbnail. But because that thumbnail more closely matched what we were saying in the title, at least it looks like she's celebrating, right? So the moral of that story is, plan your thumbnails in advance. Plan your thumbnail shots. Take a bunch of different shots that you might use in your thumbnail, and then A/B test them. So there are huge creators on YouTube who get millions of views on their videos, who create up to 20 thumbnails for each and every video. Each of the thumbnails being slightly different than the next, and then they A/B test them. You would think, you know, if y'all are getting millions of views, maybe, you know, you think that once you get 20 million subscribers, that you just kind of sit back and relax and let YouTube happen for you. No, that is not what they do. They're constantly improving their videos, but right now we're talking about thumbnails. They're improving their thumbnails and they're A/B testing them. So, I like that Amber said you should look at the thumbnails for the video, at other thumbnails for the video you're creating. Yeah, look at your competition. Look at other creators who are in your niche to see how they've designed their thumbnails. But I want to show you guys right now. Is anybody using A/B testing? That's through TubeBuddy. And I'm not sure if you can do this through the free version. It may be, I think you have to have a paid version of TubeBuddy, but it is well worth the money just for that feature alone. You saw how I was able to get that video moving on up by simply changing the thumbnail. I want to show you guys some real life examples of some good and not so good thumbnails from the channel that I manage. And I do want to get you guys feedback on these thumbnails I'm getting ready to show you. So, here's an example of a great thumbnail. It's a what we eat in a day, typical school day. This video is capturing everything. This thumbnail is capturing everything I'm talking about. It's showing your viewers in a split second what this video is about. It's about a mom who's showing what she feeds herself and her child on a typical day. I love that video. I love that thumbnail. It was probably a screenshot, if I'm not mistaken. Here's another one. Home office decor. Laundry room makeover. I wish pool updates wasn't in there, but it is. But she's showing a laundry room, and she's showing her home office. And she's holding some, what do you call it? Some tools that you would use for renovation. Some painter's tape and a paintbrush. And this thumbnail depicts exactly what's going on in that video. You can see it in a split second, what she's got going on. You guys give me your feedback. Let me know if you think this is a thumbnail that you would have clicked on or not. This video actually reminds me that is being used for YouTube in one of their playlists on home decor. So it got YouTube's attention. Another really good thumbnail, this DIY playhouse makeover. There's a playhouse in the background. It's got DIY on the screen. She's holding a hammer. It's very clear to see that this creator is making over a playhouse. All right. This one. It's kind of, it's not cute, but it's getting the point across. I DIY'd this big yellow Walmart t-shirt that I bought for $5, and I made it into a bodycon dress. 3 outfits. She's not showing all 3. She's showing one. What I love about this thumbnail, and what I think is the key to this thumbnail this video getting so many views, is because she doesn't show all 3 thumbnails. That's a very important part of getting your thumbnails clicked on, is to create some type of curiosity and some type of intrigue. I want to see those other outfits. Man, she made that out of the t-shirt. What do the other outfits look like? Y'all see what I'm saying? So, Shopping Sister says, I love the first thumbnail. I like Raven's video, so I watched despite the thumbnail. Yes, and you all are going to have those diehard fans who are going to watch no matter what if they see it's your thumbnail. But we don't just want our diehard fans to watch, do we? We want to attract new people. So we've got to create the thumbnails with those people in mind too. So here's another one. I tried 5 viral TikTok clothing DIYs. We got the TikTok logo. We've got, a couple of DIYs. We didn't show all 5 of them. We showed 3 of them. That, again, creates some intrigue. Sometimes we show too much. We want to show everything in the thumbnail. And we want to leave something to the imagination for your viewers. Okay, I'm glad that point is getting made because it's really important. Okay, this is another one that creates some intrigue. We didn't say too much about what it was. This Christmas vlog will make you cry. He's like, oh, this is also a screenshot because we forgot to take them lots and lots and lots of times. It's a new day. We're not doing that anymore, but we forgot to take a thumbnail photo. We're so involved in other things, in the editing and the scheduling and the branding and all of this stuff, we forget to take a thumbnail. So this was a screen grab. And it was right after Raven realized she was getting a kitten for Christmas. But you have to watch the blog to figure that out. So Be Life, the way you split test thumbnails is through an app called TubeBuddy. When I'm finished with this, I'll circle back to TubeBuddy and I'll show you some A/B testing on TubeBuddy. And it's really easy. You just say, hey, you got your first thumbnail. You create the second thumbnail and you tell YouTube, I want to A/B test this thumbnail with my new thumbnail. And there are some parameters you can set up, like how long you want the test to run for or when you want the test to start. And what TubeBuddy does, is it starts alternating that thumbnail when YouTube recommends that video. So then at the end of a period of time, after the appropriate number of people have clicked on that video, they have a percentage that this many people, we showed this thumbnail 20 times, and I don't know exactly what the calculation is. We showed it so many times, and this percentage of people clicked on this version versus this version. And they'll tell you what the percentage is of improvement over the other thumbnail. Now, I've A/B tested some thumbnails, and the original has won out several times. Yes, it's a good feature and worth the money because thumbnails are what causes people to click on your video. It doesn't matter how many times y'all hear me say this. It don't matter how good your video is. It doesn't matter how interesting it is. It doesn't matter how well it's edited. If nobody clicks on it, and they're going to click on it either because they know you, like someone just said, or they're going to click on it because it got their attention. Okay, this is a recent one, and I love this thumbnail. We are finally getting it. Which Christmas decor theme should I do? This is a brand new video. I know this video is going to be a winner. I just know it. And on one side, she's got kind of a pink theme. On the other side, she's got more of a traditional theme. When you look at this thumbnail, you're like, oh, first of all, you're like, pink for Christmas? And secondly, you're like, oh, I wonder what Christmas themed decor she ends up picking. And so it creates some intrigue, but it also says exactly, she's looking confused. She's like, I don't know which one to pick. Maybe should I pick this one? Should I pick that one? I love this thumbnail. I think it's really good. Okay. Thumbnails that aren't so good. I absolutely hate this thumbnail. Can somebody tell me why? Why do I hate this thumbnail? Why do I not think this is a good thumbnail? The video was awesome. It was excellent. It was the bomb. But the thumbnail is not. So why do y'all think this is not a good thumbnail? Too busy. Too much going on. Too cluttered. It's crowded. Yes, I understand what she was trying to get across. Hey, it was a party. We were partying. We had beautiful food. I don't even know what this thing is at the bottom. It's not working. So the problem is that we didn't take the right kind of photo. This photo would have been great if she would have had a few friends and still be able to show the Resort de Raven and the balloons and everything. We didn't take the right kinds of photo because we were too busy partying. Didn't think to take the thumbnail photo. Exactly right. So here's another one. Oh, this one makes my head hurt. It makes my head hurt. Watch me organize all of this. Realistic garage organization. How I store I don't even know what this is. I am very familiar with this garage, and I don't even know what this is. Your eyes get lost. Mary said, your eyes get lost looking at the thumbnail. You're absolutely right. My eyes are lost. I don't even want to look at it. I don't look at the thumbnail, much less the video. but it is what it is. Moving on. Here's another one related to the party. Again, lots of emphasis was put on throwing the party and having the party. And I get that. You want to enjoy your own party, but you got to get the thumbnail or else nobody's going to watch the video. Problem with this, and we are working on a revamp of this thumbnail. First of all, can somebody tell me what this is on the thumbnail? Over to the side of her. Do you know? Can somebody tell me? I would probably offer money if somebody could tell me what that is to the side of her, the opposite side from the pool and the balloons. Yeah, what kind of decor though? What kind of decor? No. To the right, what is that on the other side? It looks like a pampas. It looks like, Narcisse, if you squint, it's like, is that some pampas grass? Yes, it's pampas, but it looks, plus she's got some text overlay and I don't even know what it says. It's text right there. So a better thumbnail, and I know her expression was, and it was a screenshot, again, we didn't pose for this, I don't know what I'm doing. That's fine. But in the background, maybe something a little simpler. Like, I'm trying to recreate this luxury resort theme for my party, and I don't know what I'm doing. We don't need to show all the different elements of the party. You can't see neon light. So I'm making fun of our own work. Anyway, there is lots to be said for thumbnails. Those were the good examples and the bad examples. And I'm sure you guys can identify. You can identify with particular thumbnails that you've done. And sometimes, like I said, you just can't even think about, well, what kind of thumbnail would I make for this? You've made the video and it's like, I got nothing for the thumbnail. I got nothing. And that's a really bad plan of action. So to summarize, your thumbnails are the main reason that people click on your videos and start watching. They have to compete with a lot of other videos. So they have to capture your viewers' attention in a split second. You need to plan your thumbnail before you film that video. And the biggest lesson is revamping your thumbnails. You don't necessarily, A/B testing would be best, but you could just plop up a different thumbnail and see what happens on your own. A/B testing would get the job done quicker. Revamping your thumbnails for your old videos can breathe new life into that video and new life into your channel as a whole. So, you guys, I want to hear from you. Let's get this party started. Yes, Kia, change your thumbnails for the videos that didn't do so well. Even just, and I promised you guys I would show you TubeBuddy. Let me see if I could do that. Get TubeBuddy and look at the A/B testing to see if I could show you in real life what some other A/B tests have looked like. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen. There we go. Here we go. These are some, whoa, what did I do here? Yeah. All right, go here. These are some A/B tests that we've done recently. The original, I thought that this particular thumbnail on the left was too cluttered, and I thought that if we created one with just the main elements standing out, that it would do better. However, it did not. Same thing for this video. This thumbnail did better by 5%, not much better. You know, using your skills or learning skills with Photoshop, where you can take some elements of your thumbnail and maybe enlarge them. You know, maybe, you know, she's holding a rat here. You can't really tell, but maybe if she would have like enlarged the rat, maybe if the rat was a different color, the rat was brown instead of being black and gray. Um, this video, this thumbnail, this was Raven's idea to do kind of a collage on this video, but this video did 33% better. On the, this one in particular, a simple change, removing the arrows. The arrows may have caused some confusion. I know what she was trying to do. She's trying to say, I've got to give attention to my work and I've got to give attention to my child as a full-time influencer. But that didn't translate well. So this one was just the child looking over her shoulder while she worked, performed 13% better. One of my favorite ones is this one. This video was doing horribly with this thumbnail. She was attempting to show that we were snowed in. If you can tell what that is, she's got candles. We didn't have electricity. Candles were in the background. She's trying to show too much. Get the point across without showing too much. When I changed the thumbnail to only showing her walking through the snow in being outside in 7 degree temperature, 7 degrees, that video shot up. And that video is, if it's not already 1 million views, it's heading towards 1 million views. So if you wanted to see, let me see your A/B tests. You say, I want to create an A/B test. What do? You pick the video you want to run the test on. This one. Okay. What type of A/B test? A thumbnail A/B test. You can do some other stuff. You can do title and tag test. I don't do those. I just do the thumbnail test. Then you pick another video. And from there, it'll run your test. And when it's done, it'll tell you that your A/B test is complete. Does that make sense? Kashara, I honestly thought the busier my thumbnails were, the better, because I assumed it made me look like a busy creator. Well, you know, now thumbnails are going to be different if you create educational content, if you create how-to content, if you do vlogging. There's going to be a different style of thumbnails. You know, me being an educator, you know, there's not much I can show when I say I want to talk to you about thumbnails, or I want to talk to you about, you know, getting views on your videos. You know, a lot of other creators are a lot more who talk about the same thing that I do are a lot more creative with that. Ebeth, hey, how you doing? But depending on the type of videos you make, these tips are going to still apply. I mean, it still needs to be. I think the most common thing I see with thumbnails are that they are either too busy, too dark. It's not a good photo. You know, it's fuzzy, it's blurry. You haven't done any type of enhancements to it. I'm someone who creates my thumbnails in Canva because I am not great with Photoshop or Illustrator or any of the other more complicated programs. But I will say, yes, use that, Kamaya. Use that for testing your thumbnails if you have time. I was going to say that if you wanted to get better at thumbnails or anything that has to do with Photoshop or Illustrator, and you have those programs, what I like to do is to have somebody on Fiverr create a thumbnail. I tell them all the different elements I want, and then I pay for them to send me the source files, which are the PSD files that go for Photoshop. And then when I bring it up in Photoshop, I try to look at the different features they've used to try to see if I understand how to use those features. I'm a very much so a reverse engineering person. I want to reverse engineer in order to learn. Otherwise, just following the instructions or just trying to learn the app from scratch doesn't work for me. All right, so what questions do you guys have about thumbnails? What struggles are you having with your thumbnails? Besides, it could be something I've already mentioned, or besides things that I've already mentioned about your thumbnails. I think I've said, I overheard another creator on Vid Summit say that he wished that YouTube would do their thumbnails like Netflix does their thumbnails for their movies. So Netflix will show you a different thumbnail depending on, for the show or for the movie, depending on what they think your watch history is or what time. And this particular creator said that, when he sees the thumbnail for the Avengers, it'll be a fight scene. But when his girlfriend is watching through her login, she'll see a romance theme. So he really wished that that YouTube would automatically switch up the thumbnail depending on the audience that they were showing it to. But he said his way around this is like, you may make a thumbnail for your diehard viewers. Like maybe it's got your face in it or your family member's face in it, and your diehard viewers know who that is. And you show that thumbnail for like the first week or two, because that's when your people gonna be watching. They're gonna watch as soon as it comes out. And then you change the thumbnail to something that's gonna appeal to a wider audience after 2 weeks and see if that works. He didn't really say whether he's tested it and thought whether it was worth it or not, but I thought that was a pretty good idea. Amber says, I struggle with not showing too much of what's happening in the video and also making thumbnails that are captivating. You struggle with not showing too much. You think you're showing too much or not showing enough? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. Words and emojis can help. It depends. And TubeBuddy also has a beta feature that will test your thumbnails against each other and show, do your thumbnails do better when you have words on screen, or do they do better when you don't have words on screen? Do they do better when there's two faces in the video or just one face in the video, in the thumbnail? I keep saying video, in the thumbnail. Do they do better if even by expressions? That TubeBuddy feature, I sound like a TubeBuddy commercial, but I truly love this feature where it will say when you frown, your videos get more clicks on it. When you're surprised, your video gets more clicks on it. And that's called, that's in TubeBuddy. It's called let me see, I have it right here. What is it called? I don't see it. Oh, Click Magnet. It's called Click Magnet. Let me see. It's in beta still. It's been in beta for about a year, but it actually looks at your thumbnails and says, does your audience, because it's going to be different for me. I probably need to use text, but if you're a vlogger, maybe you don't need to use text. If your audience responds to emojis, then use emojis. I don't think Kalia, you can test with A/B test with vidIQ. I use vidIQ too, but for something different. Michaela, thumbnails always stress me because I know if I get it wrong, it will negatively impact the video. Yes, true. But here's what I just told you. You can always change it. You can change it the next day. You can change it the next month. You can change it the next year. And you can still get some traction going on your video. Does it matter what colors you wear? I think it could matter. If you're wanting to stand out and say you forgot to wear a bright color or coordinating color in your thumbnail, you can change that if you know Photoshop. And many of the big creators, and I'm talking about people who make videos for the 18 to 24-year-old boys, men, their thumbnails are completely Photoshopped. They didn't have on that color shirt. The thing they were holding wasn't that color. The thing in the background was a different color. I watched a workshop with a thumbnail creator who works for these creators, and he was showing what he did to these thumbnails to make them stand out. So it 100% depends on your audience and what they like and what your style is on YouTube. Some creators, bright colors work for them. Some creators, their colors are very muted and very soft, and that makes them stand out in a sea of colorful, really colorful thumbnails. So yeah, that TubeBuddy element called Click Magnet has something called an element inspector. And I will, let me see, show you guys. What is this? Show you guys what that looks like. So, is it face versus no face? Emotions, what size is your face? So this particular, it says for the channel that I manage that it gets a higher click-through rate with a close-up. It says that if she's sad, it gets a higher click-through rate than if she's surprised. It says if she has a face in it, it's going to get a higher click-through rate versus not having a face. Text versus no text. Slightly higher click-through rate with no text. So this is a really cool feature that you could use to try to improve your thumbnails over time. Yeah, Amber, it's really difficult. Amber does room transformations. It's hard to show. Do you want to show the before? Do you want to show the after? Do you want to show the before and after? Maybe, do you want to just show one tiny piece of the room? It is a struggle for those. So, Snuggly to Snatch. Mary has a question about what's considered clickbait. Clickbait is when your title and your thumbnail are not about or different from what your video is about. So it doesn't have to be, oh my goodness. Seriously, I have to learn how to block users, block people who are, and I don't know how to do that. Anyway, your title and your thumbnail have to closely relate to what's in your video. So if you have a title and a thumbnail that says, I got a new dog for my birthday, and then your video ends up, maybe you got a dog, but you're not talking about the dog until way later in the video. Well, what happens if people open your video and they don't see you talking about the dog that you just got, you don't have any mention of that dog, then they're going to click off because they're like, you clickbaited me because you were making me think you got a dog and you really didn't. So that's kind of the extreme. Like when you purposefully make your title and thumbnail about something that's not in your video, but inadvertently you can create some clickbait by just not making your title and your thumbnail closely related to what's in your video, which means that people just are like, yeah, well, that's okay. I don't see what she's talking about here. I've been watching for 5 minutes. She ain't got to the part where she said she was going to do, so I'm just going to click off and leave. Does that make sense? Less can be more, Moni. It depends. It depends on your niche. I'm not sure about the different TubeBuddy plans. Let's see. TubeBuddy. They change things. So that's why I don't know right off the bat, like which pricing. Yeah, let's see. So do they even have free anymore? Well, the cheapest plan is $4.80 a month. We have Legend, which I feel like is reduced because I feel like it used to be like $40-something a month. But yeah, I would say for new, the Pro would be the best option. So you don't, Shanita, have I found a workaround for thumbnails on shorts? You do not need thumbnails on shorts. Why? Because shorts are not presented in a way where you're going to choose typically this short over that short. Shorts are presented, the way most people watch shorts is they're just popping up and you're just scrolling through them. You're scrolling through them. There's no reason to worry about a thumbnail on the short. You see a free option? Oh, maybe they don't want to show me the free option. $7.60 for Pro. So there's one price if you like pay for it all at once. That's when it's going to be $4.80 a month. So 480 times 12 is whatever. One-time payment of $57.60. But if you pay monthly, like you're not sure you want to keep using it, that's what I typically do when I first start with an app. If I'm not sure I want to keep using it, I'll just pay for the monthly version for a while. What else about thumbnails, y'all? Yes, Narcisse, make at least 2 thumbnails moving forward, if not more. Take pictures, take more pictures than you think you might need. And then if you decide to revamp it, you'll actually have more pictures to work with. See if I missed any other questions. Yes, you need a live video to be able to A/B test the thumbnails, Kamaya. Okay. Well, you guys, that is what I have. No A/B testing for thumbnails. Bethany, is that in the... Yeah, I think that's the Legend. Let's see, does it say? Oh yeah, here it is. Let me show y'all. So the Pro, the Legend, schedule, publish, where the A/B testing, auto translator, bulk copy cards, lots of good features there. Every serious YouTuber needs to have some version. There it is. Where's A/B test and title? You have to have the Legend version. to get the A/B test in the title generator. Sneaky. But there's still a lot of good features that the the free version has and the pro version has for very little money. It's a good investment. You guys got business expenses. That's a business expense. Write it off. Or pay for the monthly. Pay for the month. Use it. Use the heck out of it for that month. Get all your thumbnails A/B tested in that month, and then cancel. Oh, they had a discount code. So, Michaela, this is a great question about polling your, what was the code? Is it valid? I don't know. About polling thumbnails on your Instagram stories. I heard some creators say that they have like a private Facebook group for like their fans, and they will ask their fans, they will put the thumbnails up, several different thumbnails for their fans to vote on them through a private Facebook group. So I think that's the same thing through Instagram. You can do that. I would definitely try to see because we as creators get too wrapped into, we're in the middle of it. We're in the weeds. We don't know. It's like, is this a good thumbnail or not? We have to reach outside of our circle sometimes to see whether or not, other people believe that our thumbnail is good or not. So Ebeth says she and her friends send each other thumbnail options to choose from sometimes as well. That's a great idea. I definitely want to encourage more collaboration amongst creators. If you can get, hit some people up and say, hey, let's form this little group. Let's talk about our thumbnails. I encourage you guys to do that. If you're in my free Facebook group, do that. Y'all not using that like it needs to be used. If you're in that group, if you're not in that group, the link is going to be in the description to this video to join it. There's hundreds of other creators in there that you could bounce ideas off of. Don't be shy. Bounce the ideas off of each other for your thumbnails. Kay says, are there any colors that get more clicks? It just depends on your channel. You got to figure that out. Look at your videos. If you have maybe a couple or 3 different colors that you typically use in your thumbnail, look at your click-through rate for those videos and see if maybe that tells you, that my click-through rate goes up when I'm wearing yellow or when I'm wearing pink or when if you don't have the A/B testing, A/B test, change the color. Use Photoshop to change the color. So you guys, do I think 1 week video is enough? Emil, I can't see. Hey, China. Enough for what? Do I think 1 video a week is enough for what? And for whom? That was a good tip. I wish I would have known about that TubeBuddy discount, because I would have definitely passed it on. What's honestly a good click-through rate? It is, you are not in competition with anyone but yourself. You're trying to beat your click-through rate. Average click-through rate on the channel that I manage is 5% or so. When it goes under 5%, I don't think it's a good click-through rate. When it goes over 5%, I think it's a good click-through rate. Also, you need to know that as your videos start to get more and more and more and more views, once it gets like a lot of views, your click-through rate is going to shrink a little bit. So look at your click-through rate for like the first week or so to see what that is. That's kind of going to be your true click-through rate for your video. Yeah, YouTube Shorts don't contribute to the 4,000 watch hours. They're still trying to figure YouTube Shorts out, y'all. Amil, is one video a week enough for what? What he said, I think someone says, I think as a posting schedule. What's your objective? What's your objective? Do you want it's the minimum. I think it's the minimum if you're trying to grow on YouTube. If you're getting the results you want from one video a week. Some people film content that's super, super complicated. They may be creating something, remaking a room, whatever. And it may take longer to create that content. And so they may only do one every 2 weeks. But if you can, if you've been posting for a while and you have a large library of content, one video a week may be enough. If you're just getting started and you're trying to build up your library of content, one video ain't going to be enough, in my opinion. You got to get 100 videos up there at least so that you can start comparing the data and seeing which stuff does better versus not performing. I'm glad you guys can connect. Awesome. All right, well, if there are no more questions related to thumbnails, I hope you guys have gotten something out of this. I hope you guys go and revamp some thumbnails. If you work, it's a skill, it's a talent. If you are not good at it, hire that stuff out. If you're a YouTuber who is getting your income already, you're already monetized, you're making money from your channel, it's too important not to have good thumbnails. And if you're not good at it, hire someone to do it. You can get them for $10, $15 a piece on Fiverr. That's $40 a month. I'm sure you got that in your budget. You can learn something from the Fiverr creators that are creating your thumbnails. Just use them for a while and then kind of hijack their techniques. I loved having you all here. Thanks for coming, and I will see you next week. I don't know what the topic's going to be, but I'll think of something. If you have any suggestions, shoot me an email, leave me a comment on this video, and I will see you next week. Bye.